Greeting professors and my mentors. My name is Chipor Lim, majoring in MSc Management and Finance. So this 20 minutes video will be about me presenting about my professional practice and development throughout the academic years with NBS. We were getting started by discussing on the questions of how do you feel you have developed it as a person while studying at NTU. First, let's start talking a little bit about my reflections while studying at NTU. I think I had made a precious decisions in choosing NTU for my master degree. The schools not only provide a standard education for students, but as well as focus on student professional development skill throughout the academic years. I always have my support in every activity I involve in. They are willing to help and motivate students in any circumstances. While studying here, I have developed it a lot as persons, and there's a lot of nice event for improving student life. And I have made a good friends and meet some amazing lecturer, guest speakers, and faculties. What I value the most is they have library support where I can explore more on academic skill development, which I found helpful during my studies, such as presentation skill, writing skill, referencing, reading skills. And I first found referencing a bit confused and hard, which consequence in receive a lower grade on referencing part for my first submissions on my assessment. So after I have joined the library support event regarding on referencing, I am now familiar with it. Not only having a good experience with the school, but the city also is full of life and buzzing with culture, sport and nightlife. All combinations make a student to remember as a lifetime experience. Moreover, the diversification of the school has helped me to be more socialized. I can learn from my peers as well as from my lecturers, and being in contact with people all around the world is so rich in knowledge and experience, especially when we want to develop ourselves. It also has enhanced my communication skills. The university improved the ability to interact face to face with each other. So I have met a great number of people at the university, many with very different background and ethnicity. This ability to meet other people and more socialize will be valuable when I enter um, different workplace. I have experienced and developed myself a lot while studying here. More will be discussed in the following slide. And the next question will be looking at what are my strengths and weaknesses based on using diagnostic tool, and what are my thoughts on this type of self-assessment. So diagnostic tools are quick and accurate way of assessing student knowledge and understanding of key skills or concept, identifying fundamental misconceptions that they may have. As what it means, it has allowed me to identify what are my strengths and weaknesses. And here are some of the diagnostic tools that I've completed. Mentioning about my strengths with temperature tool that I've done, seeing that I am an ultimate problem solver and I am a type of person who love finding logical explanations and generating proving, which really reflects me a lot. And when it comes to expressing ideas, I am not keen on explaining my thought processes or ideas to people who are not on my wavelength, which can be seen as my weakness. However, I am an outgoing and expressive when I am with people I know and they know me well, or we are on a topic that we are passionate about and understand deeply. This showcases my strength on showing and sharing my knowledge when it comes to the topic that I am well known. And I also score high in consciousness, which means I am likely to be task focused and flexible in my approach depending on the priority I allocate to the activity. This might benefit in the future career as I am tends to be organized. Other than that, I also score high in openness, which means I enjoy measure of change and appreciate stability in what people have done. From the result I am aware of, the fact that while enjoying variety and new experience, there is likely to be some comfort in taking on routine and familiar tasks that I am likely to accept those change. Moving on, looking at my weaknesses. So the first one is management skill. After finish the diagnostic tool, I found myself a little uncomfortable being in charge as a manager, and I am not entirely confident in my management skills. The things that worry me the most when leading is whether I am leading in the right way or the wrong way, and I sometimes feel a little uncomfortable being as charged as manager. Hence, I found myself in the positions of doing well in a non-managerial role. Secondly, when working under stress, I may lose my self-confidence and being illogical. This has been happened several times, especially when I need to handle loads of works alone at the same time. After considering about the strengths and weaknesses from diagnostic tools and working on the self-development plans in PepplePad and start to build up thought around it, I start to realize on what I'm good at and things that I need to improve and try to balance between things to make myself comfortable with what I am doing. The goal of professional development is the effective implementations of skills and strategy that enhance knowledge and transfer of learning. So as time goes by, I always analyze on my performance and activity I have involved. This has helped me to spot on things I need to improve on and start working on it. After creating my self-development plan, I will start seeking for any help that can help me achieving it or get more familiar with what I am capable of. On to the next question. What have I done during my time as an NBS postgraduate student to develop myself? With the opportunity that the school has provided, including all the events, workshop, guest speakers, seminars, I have joined and learned a lot from this wide range of activity. And the benefits of PepplePad has allowed me to know more about myself. There are a lot of self-reflection activity which push me to think what are my strengths and weaknesses are. This is a golden opportunity to explore before going out to the real world. While doing my postgraduate with NBS, I am more too open-minded and willing to learn and grab any opportunity as I can. I have also developed myself through the event from NTU Employability Online, the notification from Now Learning Room about CPD hours opportunity, and so I go through all of those accessible events and choose the one which benefit me and fits into my timetable. And thankfully again to PepplePad where I can record all of my activities and experience. This has worked as a reflection platform for me during this academic year. Develop plans. It is the place where I can express what I've learned and give thought on those activities. PepplePad is convenient and tracks our development plans. This has also helped me in whether I have changed myself by reflects to the development plan that I have recorded in the start of the academic years. I can always go back and learn. To answer this question, I mostly join the library support workshop because I think this is really helpful for my assessment and improving my skills in readings, presenting, listening, and referencing as well. And beside that, I have joined 3 events from Global Responsibility Week, which I found interesting, and I also grabbed a lot of new knowledge from it as well. Following by what I have planned in PepplePad for my personal action plans, I'm starting to find a positions of myself in development place. There's a lot of things that I have learned after joining all of the events. The things that fascinating me the most is the Global Responsibility Week. I have gained my understanding toward the UN Sustainable Development Goals even further, and this topic has been around crossing the academic years, and I am now aware of how important it is for individuals to participating in and sharing the concept of it. I think this will change my attitude and behavior completely because I am now more realize the things that happen around me and how the society are learning toward it. Now let's begin the 5 interview questions for this video presentations. In these past few years, I have heard and involved in a lot of activities and studies around this topic. This has been a responsibility not only for the big company to understand, but also for the people. They also need to aware of this issue and approach as well. There were several events that I have joined related to UN Sustainable Development Goals, such as sustainable finance, where they focus on this issue and look from the side of financial world, where it related to and what are the response from them. Moreover, sustainable finance refer to the process of taking environmental, social, and governance considerations into account when making investment decisions in financial sector, leading to more long-term investment in sustainable economic activity and project. After the workshop, I think the sustainable finance has a key role to play in delivering on the policy objective under country commitment on climate and sustainable objective. It does this by channeling private investment into transitions to a climate neutral and climate resilient. From Principle of Management course, this has focused a lot on sustainable development, which related to UN Sustainable Development Goal. The final assessment I had worked on was mainly on the topic relevant to UN SDG. It was about challenge relevant to implementing sustainable leadership in an organizations. And I have explored a lot throughout this assessment. I've learned that sustainable leadership allowed organizations to grab more opportunities in terms of innovations, operational improvement, as well as long-term strategic planning. And this was the first course among other which addressing this topic. And it was quite interesting to know and learn for management purpose and how leaders adapt themselves to sustainable development and UN SDG. The SDG, I am now able to identify problems and opportunities in my community and be able to propose appropriate solution linked to the sustainable development goals and to feel confident enough to know how to implement these things. The way the business world work is shifting, and to keep up, we need to share a mutual responsibility to create sustainable employment and learning opportunity for all. With a new focus on skills and employment, with more skill and opportunity for me in searching for employment will help them getting better to adjust the changing future. So future of work offer plenty of diverse opportunity for worker hoping to make an impact. There's no unique career path when it comes to sustainability. What we are doing every day can always relate to sustainable development goal. We need to move toward a tipping point of engagement where incorporating responsible business practice are no longer just a nice to have, but it is essential part of any business venture. And it is important to have a sustainable mindset, and no matter what work we are fulfilling, that we always relate to the global goals. Just because we are working at a full-time for profit at corporations doesn't mean we can contribute to the sustainable development goals. First, we can teach the professionals in our workplace. It can be mobilizing by our co-workers and company to join to make a step towards the sustainable development goal. And in profession practice, I can boost and promote the workplace ethics and value considering in global goals. So the third question is, what do you understand by the term responsible management, and why do you think it's matter in business? By the term responsible management, I think it can be describing as the deliberate management of seeking to balance the interests of the people, companies, environment to prosper for the benefit of both our current and future generations. It can be described in activities such as responsible investing, responsible supply chain management, social, environment, accounting, and so on. From a big perspective, responsible management embraces the governance and supervisions of the firm's social, public, and stakeholder issue to include corporate social responsibility, sustainability, and business ethics, as well as other related concepts such as corporate citizenships, creating shared values, and business purpose. At the micro perspective, responsible management entails managing goals, functions and processes relate to the organization itself and organization member to have responsibility for the implementations of this issue. A responsible management is essentially one that benefits societies and that address negative impact it might have on society, peoples, and planet. This way of looking at business can help decisions market make more responsible decisions, ensuring that considerations of social and environment impact is balanced against those of financial gains. And responsible business can build greater trust and strengthen its relationship to its stakeholder, one at every level, which include consumer, employee, investors, and the community it operates in, which generate greater value over time. And moreover, applying sustainable business practice can also help reduce costs and drive innovations, which are both positive contributor to the bottom line. On to question number 4. Describe a situation where you had to solve a problem as a team. What did you do? What was the result? What might you have done differently? So let's discuss about the situation which I faced in the early start of the semester. I had worked in a team for Principles of Management course. One of the assessment for the class was a group presentations. Things went well in the first start of the meetings. We all agreed to meet at the library at a certain point. On the first day of meeting, everyone was on time and we started to discuss about the presentation topics and begins to divide the point to prepare. Later on, there was lack of clarity. When working in a project, it is important for teammates to understand what we expect from each other so that they are prepared to deliver satisfactory result. I have found that sometimes we misunderstand each other and confuse on delegating tasks. There was a misunderstanding between me and my friend which resulted in us doing the same task. We have found that out during the second meeting, which is 3 days apart. And what I think I should have done differently is getting contact and update with each other when we are working on the task. Or we should have finalized the meeting by summarize the main point again and revise on the task delegation once again before we all leave. Mention about punctuality, there was several times one of my teammates came late and it was around 10 to 20 minutes late. I didn't bother about him coming late, but at least he told us that he will be late or apologize to the team that he couldn't make it on time. This is frustrating for the people who planned the meeting, and in my opinion, it's impolite and wasting member time. We should have started early, but because of one member being late, we need to wait for them to begin the meetings. I think what I should have done is sending meeting invitations or maybe reminding member in the group like 30 minutes before the meetings. And if it's an important meeting, probably we can also include a clear agenda so that they will be follow the timetables. Last question to answer is, in your personal opinion, what are the top 3 characteristics of successful manager? How close do you feel you are in reflecting these characteristics? To mention the characteristic of successful manager, I think there's a lot of points to cover, but I will choose the top 3 that I believe is important. First is leadership skill. To be an effective manager, you need to be able to lead your employee in an efficient manner. Being able to envision how you would want your leadership to look is an effective way to achieve good management. Strategic thinker can see the big pictures and see minor details that others may not see. Managers are always leading and answering any questions or struggle that arise. Successful leaders influence others to come into the office with the best versions of themselves every single day. They are strategically thinking about the big pictures and how to proactively reach their team's next set of goals. Being a thoughtful leader is a key trait when demonstrating and empowering growth and collaborations on your teams. Second is good communication skill. Communication is a key in almost every relationship, especially for those working together every day. Effectively communicate goal, expectation, and any resource your team may need to meet those expectations. Effective communication is a sample that all the best managers have. This not only mean communicating job responsible and expectation, but it also mean listening to your team and working with them to produce results within their positions. This will also build trust with your employees and empower them to boost productivity in their workflow, knowing that they have someone to help them if they need it. Lastly, experience. If you don't have experience working in a professional environment and leading a team, it will be hard to step up as manager. Most of the time, managers have years of experience in the field they are leading. Through those experiences, they have gone above and beyond and have learned from the good and bad. Most importantly, successful manager has put in the needed time to master this category and know exactly how to meet their goal. I personally think that those characteristics above that I've just mentioned, people are natural born with it. Those skills require the learning process and enough practice to be achieved. Being a good manager isn't an easy task to do. For me, I would say characteristic above before joining NTU, I have slight experience regarding on leadership skills and communication skill, but things is getting better considering in my development process. My profession in performing those skills is much better than before. I am able to practicing and experiencing to enhance this characteristic on and on. And this is the end of the presentation. Thank you for your attention.